Hey y'all, today I'm gonna share with y'all how I cook my corned beef. And we're all on lockdown, and Michael went and picked up Aunt Peggy from Albany because Albany, Georgia has been hit pretty hard with the virus, y'all. From what I understand, a pastor came down from Atlanta for 2 funerals, and there was infection going on somewhere. So it's hitting Albany pretty hard. So naturally we wanted to get in there and snatch Aunt Peggy out of there because, she's 90 years old and I don't want her getting sick. Well, one of her favorite meals, y'all, was at the Carnegie Deli in New York City. She loves deli food, and corned beef being her favorite. She loves a corned beef on rye with mustard. So I'm gonna make sure that I have her some corned beef so she can make her sandwiches while she's here. So this is so simple, y'all. It cannot get any easier than this. My pressure cooker is one of those machines that it's one of my small appliances that I have, and I probably use this 2 times a week at least, maybe sometimes 3 times a week. I couldn't do without this and my air fryer. Those are 2 things I have to have, because in order to cook corned beef, this size corned beef would probably take right at 4 hours. I mean, it's a tough cut of meat, but all it takes in my pressure cooker is 75 minutes. 75 minutes, an hour and 15 minutes, and you've got the most delectable corned beef you've ever put in your mouth. All right, so I'm just gonna dump that into my pressure cooker. And in your corned beef, you're gonna get little seasoning packs. And this is all you need. This is all you need. No salt, no pepper, no nothing. And you just want to sprinkle that on top, just like that. And there was a lot of juice in that packet, but I'm still gonna add maybe that much water, maybe a cup of water. And I'm gonna slip down here and wash my hands real quick. Back when I was growing up in my mother and daddy's house, Mama kept her pressure cooker on top of the stove, and it was one of those that you cooked on top of the stove, and I was always kind of scared of it because you had to make sure your lid was on exactly right, and that little top would do the dance. Well, all of that safety things have been taken care of in my pressure cooker. All right, so all I have to do is line the dot up with a triangle and turn it to close. You cannot mess it up. It's not gonna explode on you. It's not gonna do anything but produce some of the fastest, best cooking. And they say cooking in a pressure cooker, because it's cooked under pressure, which I think is 251 degrees, it holds your nutrients, where it doesn't if you cook it on top of the stove. Your nutrients escape. So I'm gonna make sure I have this on 75 minutes. And I do. All right, so let me talk about this real quick. Like, when I was raising my children, one of the favorite meals that I fixed them, and we had a budget, and our budget was not very big when it came to groceries, but I would buy a head of cabbage and cook it up, and then I would take a can of corned beef, not corned beef hash, but the canned corned beef, and I would break it up on top of the cabbage, and I would do a big old pot of mashed potatoes or cream potatoes, whatever you call them, and lace hoe cakes. And I'm telling you what, those 2 little boys would eat like they were starving to death. So if you don't want to fool with this, and corned beef it is expensive. Like this one weighs 3 pounds and it was $21.11. So they're not cheap and they shrink up to almost nothing. So you might like to go for the canned kind. So I'm gonna leave y'all right now because I know y'all don't want to stand up here for 75 minutes and watch me stand by this, this pressure cooker while it does all the work for me. All right, y'all, it's been 75 minutes. The corned beef is just beautiful. Like I said, it's a tough piece of meat, so it's not like it's gonna feel like butter, because it's not. But 75 minutes is perfect. And you see how it shrunk down to, I swear, almost half its size. Now, corned beef, you want to cut against the grain. And I have to say, this is a lot easier to cook if it's cold. But I'm going to give it a shot. I mean, this is piping hot. And I'm going to put together a sandwich for Aunt Peggy. And this is terrible to say, y'all, but the fat on the corned beef is the best protein fat I think I've ever eaten. Now, she loves rye bread with it, so I've buttered my rye bread, and I'm gonna toast it real quick like on that piece of flat iron cast iron. And, oh, I forgot the cheese. Let me get her a piece of cheese. I've got, I don't know if this is Munster or not, I can't remember. It was one long little soldier in the refrigerator. So I'm gonna put this piece of cheese on that sandwich. Oh, and it's gonna be succulent, y'all. Succulent. Look at that, I had my pan getting hot. So, it's gonna toast really quickly. And I'm using one of my favorite spatulas in the whole world. Aunt Peggy gave me this, and I just love it. Let me see. Made in USA. I believe it could almost have a date on it, but my eyes are not that good. But it's an old one. It was made by Rock. I'm not familiar with them, but I'm gonna let my toast burn if I'm not careful. So I'm gonna let that toast just a minute on the inside, but not long. Look at that. That's gonna be so good and so crispy. So we're not very fancy with our sandwiches. A little mayonnaise. Ooh, doggy. Even that bread is so hot. A little mustard. And Aunt Peggy and I were discussing mustards today. She and I both really like just yellow mustard. So here we go. Now you can pull off that fat if you want to. Oh my goodness. That looks so delicious, y'all. All right, and the piece of cheese. Got to do a hand wash real quick, like. But I will be right back. I'm coming, y'all. Granny's getting slow. That's because she's old. All right, here we go. Whoa. Look at that. That is a sandwich fit for a queen. Which I kind of think that's what my Aunt Peggy is. Bye, y'all. Best wishes and love. Please stay safe.